welcome everybody to another special council debate. I am your host, Atari. This is the damn show. This is the third installment in the final five debate that we've done dating back to last year, where we had the first annual one, biannual, I should say, is from when we last had elections. While participation in the DAO is still not where we want it to be, proposals are being put on chain and activity does seem to be increasing. Big partners like Polygon are attempting to launch Apecoin, which is a layer 2 solution much needed to alleviate the massive gas fees that are congesting the Ethereum network. And many believe that this is a pivotal step in the DAO for us to enable its long-term vision of becoming the token of the metaverse. After much contention and many debates, special counsel salary, and now it's at a state where people feel much more that it's much more in line with what special counsel should deserve and what actually gets. Speaking of which, the issue of what special counsel does has also been hotly debated for the past 12 months. And after a proposal from the DAO that the community passed, we finally have much needed transparency on what happens internally at the DAO, much of which can't be spoken about due to legal concerns, but there is increasing transparency happening within the DAO, which is good news. Or today, that should be elected for the 3 spots that are available. Yatsu, a big voice in the community, was supposed to make it, and due to other arrangements, he's not able to, but he does have questions for me to ask all of our candidates. If you're watching this on the Twitter space, give it a like, give it a retweet, and if you want to catch the full version of it, please check us out on the Damn Show on YouTube. The link is pinned up top, where we're going to be accepting questions from the YouTube comments. So, without further ado, let's meet the candidates. All right, we have everybody up on stage. Let's get Hazel up here as well. We have Bouvet, Bored Ape G, Airv, Jason, and Hazel. Guys, welcome to the special council final 5 debate. Many people have applied, and only 5 make it to the final round. From here, only 3 more people will actually get to serve on the full term. And so we're going to start with some opening statements. I'm going to give you guys each the floor on your own to intro yourself, give us a bit of background on who you are and why you deserve to be in the top 3 spot. We're going to start in order with Bouvet. So let's get to him right now. Hey, Bouvet, how's it going?
Hey, hello guys. This is Bua right here. You guys can see me. Glad to be here. You know, my slogan is making sure smaller voices get heard. And we need that in this election. Come on, look at my competition, guys. You've seen my recent tweets. You need somebody active across various communities. And we have to do cross DAO collaborations. I'm an active leader in the space. I'm at communities. I believe that's why recently I started the AAC delegate. In 1 month, I was able to get 125,000 delegates so far to represent the smaller voices. And the battle continues. Let's do this. I'm looking forward to this debate where we can debate objectively and not subjectively. So when I debate, I'm going to be using a lot of facts and numbers and objectives so we are clear on the standards of the debate. I'm glad to be here. Thank you, guys. I'm not sure if the introduction has a time. Let's do this.
Bouvet, perfect. Thank you so much. And I know you've mentioned that you're very focused on KPI, so we're going to dig into that as well later on. Next up, we're going to go to Bored Ape G.
Hey, Atari, how are you?
Good. How are you, Bored Ape G? Is this your 3rd time on the damn show for the debates?
No, but I was on your inaugural one, right? So it was my 2nd time.
Second time, that's right. That's right.
I really appreciate what you guys have done, you and maybe. So, of course, to the Apecoin community, thank you again for your trust and support that you placed in me over the past year. It's been just phenomenal being one of your special council members. And as much promise as we've shown, particularly recently for Apecoin, it's really not lost on me how challenging of a year it's been. Right? When Apecoin launched, though, we had no organizational infrastructure. Now, the reality, a passionate community of decentralized contributors. But we knew something had to change. And our young DAO faced this adversity head on, and we hit the reset button at the start of the year, pushing forward community decentralization. Right? And when I campaigned last year, I said we need to knock out a lot of this boring organizational matters, and that would be my primary focus, occupying a seat on the board. And since then, we've substantially accomplished that. Now, while no doubt we still have a lot of challenges, look, like as Tari said, like AIP processes here have, since our transition from the old administrator team, has really shown that no roadblocks are there for the community's innovation. Right, the community has been activated and able to develop the Apecoin ecosystem efficiently and effectively, better than ever. Right, the future is very bright for our ecosystem. And look, I'm running for re-election, not just on my record, but on the promise of an exciting future for Apecoin, right? And to facilitate that exciting future, the reality is the special counsel, as it stands currently, right? To do that, you have to be someone that's proficient in navigating this difficult regulatory uncertainty. You need to be able to understand how to get from point A to point B in complex matters, right? And that's something that I bring, not just with my Apecoin Council experience, but in my professional experience. So I'm here to build on the progress we've made together, and so we can leverage it for this year. I'm excited for next year, and we can take advantage of the opportunities in front of us. So thank you again to the Apecoin community, and I look forward to the opportunity to continue this work we have done together.
Awesome. And Board Ape G, you're one of the few, if not the only member that has now 12 months under their belt of special counsel experience. So I'm sure that's going to be a topic of debate, not just the questions that I have, but also your fellow contestants, nominees as well. So excited to jump in. But next up, we have Airv. Let's go to Airv right now.
So it's in the middle. I just woke up. I'm going to stay with you guys for as long as needed, and I'm going to go right back to bed. But I wanted to be here. It was important for me, and I know we're a global community. It's often, one of the region is going to suffer when we schedule some time. But and it's also what is great is to see such a small screen. I feel like 6 people reminds me when Horizon Labs started to work with the founders of Bored Ape, and the whole 2 companies would be in a screen of 11 people, and now I feel like the community is huge with over 140,000 wallets. The journey was super interesting. 7 months when Yugo Labs picked us to develop first the other side, and then midway changed to do Apecoin. It was a brand new world. I mean, we didn't know where all of this was headed. We had a clear plan. We wanted to generate a lot of value for the ecosystem, but also we wanted to give back. And one of the most controversial thing that was suggested is to give 10,000 tokens to every single Bored Ape members. And back then, I remember when we were presenting this, people were saying that's the worst idea in the world. How can it be unclaimed tokens? And there was a lot of pushback. But I'm happy that on one side we were able to develop a very strong technology that over the years hasn't had one single issue, which is we're living in an industry where issues can happen literally overnight. So we're happy to have brought a bit of stability, but also very proud that to be able to have given back to the community, and being able to give not only tokens but also a voice to everybody in there. But I have to say that today I'm a little bit worried when I look at the direction that we're going, and I'm also worried when I look at the transparency report and don't see one single line for revenue. So about 6 months ago, we decided to co-author a proposal to generate revenue for the DAO. We've selected the best possible partner, which is Arbitrum, and I co-authored with Off-Chain Labs and
Sorry, we're gonna jump into all those specific details in just a moment, but I just want to give you the floor to like introduce yourself, and I know that you have a lot of things that you want to discuss, and so we're going to be jumping into all the specifics of that just later on in a moment, including that proposal. So keep that on deck. But we are going to go over to Jason for his introduction.
Hello, everyone. This is Jason, and I believe most of you have met me in person, especially during the Ape Fest. So, for me, I would like to actually be the new blood that I can contribute my experience and what I did during the Ape Fest as well. I came from a Nasdaq background, so I am very familiar with the SEC and the regulations. And during what I've done with the yoga labs being officially recognized as the community partner, um, I managed to deal with government entities, public transport entities, private sectors. So I learned a lot during the process, and I was convinced by a lot of current and ex special counsel. And I'm pretty sure most of you that I have already spoken with you in person, knowing what's it like in the real life before I decide to take on the election. So I went out and reached out to all these special council member to learn about the job, and I understood what the job is necessary for, and I've got what it takes in terms of precision decisions and also improvisations experience in order to be what I have for the special council, especially the Apecoin DAO.
Perfect.
And in order to push forward, it's also, oops, sorry.
No. I was gonna say that's great. Finish your last sentence, then we're gonna head on over to Hazel. So go ahead.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the putting back the value into the ape coin itself, not just in the Web3 way, but to push it backwards into the Web2 industry as well. That's my intention.
Perfect. And last but definitely not least, we're gonna head to Hazel. Hazel, how's it going?
Jam.
Hazel, please tell us a little bit about yourself and
Yeah,
give
my
us your
name is
background.
Yes. I have been continually building a community. Past 2 years, I go to many countries and I do many events in different countries. I want to gather all the apes, encourage all the ape from Apecoin family gather together and let's more builders to come here. And my slogan is your voice, my actions. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Hazel. Okay, so that was the introductions, guys. Let's head on over back to everybody. Okay, guys, how are we feeling? Are we ready for the first round of questions? We're gonna start with Board Ape G. Board Ape G, you have 12 months of experience on the special council, so clearly, like that's 12 months more than anybody else that's up here. What give us one thing that you've learned in the last 12 months that you think is going to be super beneficial and invaluable for the DAO?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Because I think this live stream is a little choppy.
Sure. You have 12 months of experience on pretty much anybody that's on here on stage, and so what's one thing that you've learned that's going to make sure that you know exactly what needs to be done for special counsel in your next term if you do get elected?
Great. Yeah. So for myself, the one thing I would have pushed already in my campaign message is that there's just no time to waste. Right. Our foot has to be on the gas pedal in 2024. And while last year when I was more taking that approach of like we have to get a lot of things done operationally, like administratively. Look, the community's vision is moving, and we need to make sure the special counsel to keep up with that vision, at least in this iteration of special counsel. And my learning from last year is like time really does move quick here. I mean, of course, we were hampered by this administrative transition, but the reality is the special counsel currently coming up does not have to deal with that, right? And the community does not have to deal with that, right? We need to make sure that we are here as stewards of the foundation to facilitate the vision of the community. And I feel that this upcoming version of special counsel is working towards this transition of like the long-term vision of special counsel. So my key learning also falls into like what the kind of people that we want in this council have no time to waste, right? They're up on the community. They can get through with the governance. They understand it, and they can facilitate all the needs of the community in the coming months, without really like training wheels, right? And I think that really also starts in the kind of governance participation you've had in the community, because if you don't have to learn it, then you don't have to waste time on it. And even for me, I think you've seen like the tone of my campaign is a lot different than last year. It's really the sense of urgency, because I do believe that we had a lot of challenges in Apecoin this past year, but we have to take the next step together as a community.
Bouvet, let's go to you. So obviously, Board Ape G talked a lot about his experience and how he can start from the ground running. Do you feel like you being a new person, bringing fresh eyes, is going to be a valuable input for the DAO? Do you think that Board Ape G's experience might actually hold him back in some way because he's more entrenched in the last 12 months? I just want to get your perspective on this. Bouvet, that's for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. We're gonna talk about Board G. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so he's experienced. Okay, we know it. He was in the special council. That's why in that tweet I posted, he has the most amount of days spent. But I'm next in the second. But it's his full time job. Of course, his number's gonna be up like that. But I'm the next person who's very active in the DAO. The other three people, sorry guys, you guys came and joined the discourse a month ago. Okay, you guys can see the stats, and they were saying, "Oh, I'm worried about the DAO." Hazel's saying, "Oh, voice of the people," but you guys weren't there in the process. You don't suddenly get worried, show up, and go to the elections and suddenly start caring. You have to be in the process with us in the DAO together. But we're back to Board HQ. We're talking about him. When he was running, I was there in the spaces last year. He said, "I'm going to bring the finance and accounting expertise. I'm going to operationalize the DAO." But let's see if that happened, Board HG. Maybe you operationalized the transfer, right? With the Horizon, but you weren't able to do it on a strategic level where there's strategic planning set with the KPIs and the objectives. If you don't have that long objectives and the KPIs tied to everybody's results objectively, we're always gonna keep having these debates. Hey, what's special counsel doing? Weekly reports. You guys even didn't do them for 2 weeks. It's just sentences and then subjective. Everybody can look now in the elections and hear you guys, but it's versus what you're saying and what you're going to be able to get done. And since you said you bring the finance and accounting expertise, we haven't been able to reduce expenses. We pay like 2 to 300 for custodial fees. We're paying like 740 to the legal fees, and there's no positive cash inflow into the DAO. So it's a good thing if you're an auditor and you're auditing the reports. We're getting some reports done, but it's better if you get some action on it. We have to reduce these expenses, create cash inflows for the DAO. Positive. Okay, that's why in the list of KPIs I proposed in the Board Ape Gazette, there's a KPI saying percentage of AIPs that bring in positive cash inflow back into the DAO, increase in treasury size, reducing expenses, increasing Apecoin adoption. Okay, now since we talked about Board Ape G, can I talk about myself now?
We're gonna get back to you in just a second, but you did mention Hazel, and you mentioned that some of the people here have not spent that much time in the discourse. Hazel, I want to give you a chance to respond to that, and what value you believe you're going to bring to special counsel. I think we're having some audio issues. Hazel, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I hear.
Do you want to, so
Yes,
Bouvet
I
mentioned you
think it comes
specifically,
down
do you want to
to
respond?
yeah. It's I
No, go ahead.
okay. I think come down to have different role and have different peoples to handle different things. I think for the AG or some people already have many experience in a down. We need to have the creative peoples, and I am focused on community, and I can in the futures I can help the community and connect the Asia to the Western. And I think we need to do more creative thing to building the DAO. We need to have more creative idea. I know many people is already have many experience here, so I think it's the charm to have the new people. Yes.
Okay. So Jason and Avery, we're going to get to you right after. But Jason, what do you think the biggest issue the DAO is facing today is, and what do you want to do to solve that?
I think there is a lot of misconception in order about the role right now, but in the Apecoin DAO as a whole, I think it's community engagement and also the participations of the people who are holding the Apecoin. And in order to improve that, I would say it's a very important for the leaders to create more leaders in the terms of understanding or educate your community to understand what its Apecoin DAO is about. It's not much about the apes, but yes, it came the origin from the apes. But then Apecoin itself, Apecoin DAO itself, it's an independent organization that it's hoping to expand the infrastructure and also the mass adoption of Apecoin. So back to the question is the problem right now is a lot of misconception right now, especially the apes.
Okay. And you want to hope to clear it up. And
That's
Avery,
my personal.
same question for you. What's the biggest issue that you think the DAO is facing, and where do you fit into all of this, and how do you want to attempt to solve that?
Is that for me, Atari?
Yeah, Avery, that's for you.
Yeah, sorry, the audio goes in and off. Um, so, so for me, I have seen the evolution over the last 2 years, and I think right now I'm worried about the DAO. And 6 months ago, I wanted to come up with a plan, and that's why I co-author a proposal. And the proposal is very simple. What I had three main criteria. The first one, something that doesn't cost anything to the DAO. The second is that it gives the governance to the DAO. And thirdly, that brought $7 million revenue on year run. And this is the Apechain proposal that we have put together. And I would say that when I look at the transparency report, I have issues finding revenue lines for the DAO. So, I want to contribute that, revenue generating offering that not only is gonna create immediate revenue once implemented. But also, my objective is to create the premier destinations for Web3 gaming, and I do believe that this is a tool that is needed in the industry. I believe that when you hear what the launch contributors need at the moment is true gaming partners to build on. And this is something that is becoming an emergency for the DAO itself to put something very strong together. Um, and on top of that, the last 2 years, gaining experience first at the Zen Foundation, and then I'm a special counsel right now at the Horizon DAO. And we have Animoca Brands and big other gaming companies and 5 other members on it. And I want to bring these experiences of 2 years working in a bear market, in a foundation, in a DAO, and make sure the same issues and pitfalls that we had are not being repeated on the Apecoin DAO.
Okay. So, and Bouvet, we're going to go to you. I know you're eager to speak. And then Board AP, we're going to go to you right after. So, Bouvet, right now, as the election stands, you are currently in last place. And I think you said earlier that your slogan was "Voice for the Little People." And so, for the people that are listening right now that are still undecided or may even want to switch some of your votes, what would you say to them to say, you know what, we can't just keep letting quote unquote the big guys winning these seats? We need somebody that is more on the ground and more by the people for the people.
Yeah, well, that's what the DAO we set up, right? That's the operational structure Board APG set up. No, I'm just kidding. It's the way the DAO works, right? So I guess I have nothing against that the wallets are voting, but just keep in mind that that's happening, and we need people who need to get the job done, who talk about how to increase these governance structures, how to communicate to the people more, how to increase Apecoin adoption, how to get the strategic levels right, so we're looking all in one direction. Who's very active, who just doesn't show up, or who's just here before the election, who's after, who's staying, who's active, who's making contributions, who's inviting users to the platform. For example, I worked if there is a discourse facilitator in here, check all these 5 people's forum activity and check how many people they invited. For example, even yesterday, Mokuborn told me, "Oh, you're the person who invited me. That's why I joined the forums. I invited 21 people. I bet none of these people have that, even if that's a small number." Like last, also, for example, the boring security. A lot of stuff happened. People are losing their apes. So I spent in the 2 days I was hosting spaces to help people, and I also became a translator there. Translated 3 articles, the website in different languages, so people can get access to it. These are the type of little steps I'm talking about. We have to be active and help and be a member of the community, not just show up with a wallet that has like 7 to 10 million vote and say, "Oh, I'm gonna win." That's what's making you guys complacent. Like, we're not here to talk about some chain AIP airway. Why you keep talking about the proposal? Just make that pass, take charge of it, and then go execute it. You don't have to be in special counsel. You're killing the thing you're running for. Board Ape G, you became too complacent. You have the Machi vote behind you. That's why you need to step up, man. If you spent, I think, 3 to 4 hours more on the special counsel, you would have done a better job at executing the things you talked about last election. So when you have that big wallet behind you, you become complacent and say, "Oh, I don't even need to be serious about this debate. I have that vote. I'm going to make it anyway to the top 3." But when you're that person like me in the last place with the smaller voices votes, I take this seriously and I want to do this full time instead of doing it part time like some of the guys proposed. I want to commit to it. I want to do it full time and I want to bring the changes. And don't be pulling up that one wallet vote with that snapshot airway. I saw it. Go to Airways voting. Go to all the wallets that have 1 ape that voted for him. They all distributed the 1 Apecoin on Disperse 451 days ago to each wallet. And now it's making it seem like he has many wallets voted for him. In fact, 90% of his vote comes from 2 wallets, Horizon and then him. I can't get that. Is that an election? I don't get it. So we need to have these objective debates. We have to talk about the strategy of the DAO, the direction we're going, how to get the smaller voices to join, and how to increase Apecoin adoption. So let's talk about those things. And it doesn't matter that they have the votes. I'm going to say what I say that's on my mind, and we're going to go do it. Even after the election, I'm not going to leave. I'll be here. I was here before. I'm here now. I'll be here after. Let's do this.
Board Ape G, Bouvet mentioned complacency. Is that do you think those comments have any weight, or do you think that's just talk? Quite frankly, how do you feel about that?
Look, absolutely not. A little bit of perspective. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so some perspective. I mean, Bouvet, you've been great since you came in to the DAO. Of course, like you're a fan of Thank You. That's what we've been working on. But look, before you came, right? I was this. Like, it's not that I'm not also the voice of the people in the community, right? When I campaigned last year, I literally had the smallest follower count on Twitter, right? So when people say like it's because of the work that I've done, it doesn't mean that I don't represent the community any less, right? As if I have not put in the work to earn the respect of people in the community, right? And then, when you say as if first principles, I know you're joking around as if like, oh, I set up the DAO this way. No, like I may be a CFO in my professional life. I am not the CFO of Apecoin, right? First principles, the community, we are a DAO. The community develops the ecosystem, right? The special counsel, this is where, like Jason said, there's a lot of misconception of what the special counsel is. We're here to facilitate this growth and steward the Ape Foundation via the community, right? And that's exactly what special counsel does, right? Even though that, yes, you could have all these KPIs, but nobody can control how many AIPs are going to get passed by the DAO, right? Could we do things that are going to facilitate these things around the community? Yes. Yeah, people don't have to be in the special counsel to go do that, right? So just to say that, like, with the way that things are structured, yes, there are things that can be a lot better and a lot different. But just back to your point, Tare, like, to say it's been complacency, like then it's just like not paying attention to like the work, right? And it's not just me. There's a lot of people in the ecosystem that have been here since last year and still grinding, and we're still trying to expand our community decentralization plan. So and coming into another year potentially, if I get on to special counsel, I look forward to just really leveraging what we've done and really pushing that forward more. Because at the end of the day, it is for the community, and you don't have to be on special counsel to make an impact. And it's great if you do, but it's not the place for the role. The role is here to provide administrative oversight. It is not a managerial team.
Great. And this next question is it's two parts, but we're gonna start you with Ervi. Ervi, and this is echoing off of Bouvet's comments. If we look at the voting right now, Horizon Labs has allocated 5.9 million ape to you. That's the top wallet right now. We have the Sandbox allocating 1 million, and then we have other unknown wallets with like fairly large $1 million ape counts. So what would you say to the people like Bouvet and some other people saying that, hey, you're just getting these big corporations to vote for you? How do we know that your interests are not aligned with them versus the actual the people of the DAO? And I'm not saying the corporations are not, but you can kind of understand if there's large 3-4 wallets making up a majority of your voter base. Some people might have some questions, like Bouvet's mentioned.
Yeah, sure. No, that's that's a good point, and I will answer in three parts. The first one, it relates to the whole narrative about helping the small people. I don't think anybody in the Web3 industry has done more than Horizon Labs by giving 10,000 token to 10,000 people. We give up 150 million tokens unlocked from day one. We forgot because that was 2 years ago. But I can tell you, for the first 6 months, I have hundreds and hundreds of people. When I went to the Ape Fest events, when I went moderating the Board Ape Yacht Club panel at the largest conference in Europe, saying, "Thank you so much. You changed our life. We sold half of our tokens. We paid our debt. We're keeping it half." Where I wake up on Monday morning, and my life has changed overnight. Not only the increase of value of their Board Ape, but the increase of value of their token. So as far as Horizon Labs is concerned, it should probably get the trophy of helping the most people and the most small people. When it relates to me, in terms of my votes, I'm not here, running around and pressuring people. Chain proposal is to gain more votes. There's companies, corporations who know me, who know my work. For some of them, the decisions that I recommend to them has generated revenue, and therefore they put the trust in it. And why do they the trust in it? Is because their balance sheets have Apecoin, and they want to see the value of this Apecoin going up. They're taking the risk, they're putting money out of their balance sheet, and the only thing that they're asking for is to make sure that that money doesn't get wasted. And over the last 12 months, they hear things about certain AIP that passes, and they're very confused about it. They're confused that an ape chain is not yet done, while there's tons of games ready to be on board, and they feel that maybe we need to have a real working sessions around it, and that goes above the job of the AIP. A special counsel on the DAO that I'm in right now, that doesn't include some of these things, but I think for the Apecoin community, we're going overboard when it relates to that, and I'm co-authoring things. And when we talk about small wallets, when I looked, and thank you, Bouvet, for mentioning it, because I actually looked at the small wallets under 25 ape coins, and I'm the leader in it. I have the most small wallet of any single person on the stage. So now the conspiracy theory will say that in the middle of the night I try to allocate one ape coin to ENS addresses, etc. But I can assure you I don't have time for that. So I just realized right now that yes, I do have big wallets, but I have far more smaller wallets who actually endorse what I say, because I believe for most of them know and remember, are grateful where those 10,000 tokens came from.
Hey, can I comment back? I think he misunderstood what I said.
Yep. 30 seconds, please go.
Airway, I said I took the sleuthing class in boring security, okay? So I checked all the votes that gave you 1-8 votes, and they were all dispersed around the time you saying you gifted tokens. 1-8 using the disperse app 450 days ago. So for everybody listening, just go check all the votes he has with 1-8. They all got it distributed 450 days ago. So I'm not sure if it was when he was doing the Apecoin stuff or distributing. These were already set up bot wallets and not real people. If you compare it to my people, the smaller voices who voted, they're actually real people who contribute to the DAO. But those are just bots. I haven't heard of 100% of them. Go check it right now.
Hazel, we're gonna go to you. You are right now second place with 6.9 million Apecoin. For context, the leader AirV has 8.8 million ape. If we look at the voting, we have a couple wallets that allocate about 5 million, about 6 million actually votes total. What do you, same question, same for you. What do you say to the people listening that said Hazel is being voted in by two large wallets? Is this really quote unquote a DAO if two wallets control who decides to be on special counsel or not?
So do you think we always see the old space in Apecoin DAO? So we need to bring more new builder here. So I try to nest more builder here, and many wallet is the first time to attend to join the Apecoin DAO, and you can look at the first one. I have the most more than 115 wallets to voice to uh, wrote me, and I think it's not to care the big wallets or small wallets. Is I let people know the Apecoin DAO. I let them to join. I let them to take the first action to join our DAO. Thank you.
Okay, and Jason, last question for this round for you. You mentioned, and I'm asking you specifically because you mentioned this in your in your statement. We right now there are 5 board or mutant apes that are on the final 5 for special counsel, but as we know, you only need 1 ape coin to be a part of the DAO. There is a connotation that the DAO only, supports and elects people that have bored apes. What would you say to people, that people that think that and may not want to come build for ApeCoin DAO if they're not in the bored ape or mutant ape ecosystem?
No, I think this is just a coincidence that there are Bored Ape mutants that came up, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of talents that are holding the Apecoin that are striving to submit AIP or even participate in a management level. But there are a few things I would like to echo back to Bouvet and Hervé about. Yeah, it was great that the Bored Ape Security did a great job recently, but I would like to echo back to Bouvet that I was doing the same thing 2 years ago. And our community is actually the first delegate of ApeCoin, which we have 888,000 back in day one of the ApeCoin are being dropped. So our community was a very strong bonded community of over 150 of us. And I have never increased because I understand the ability of a person. You have a threshold of holding or managing a certain numbers of members. That's why my existing here is to act as a blueprint, allowing more leaders to mimic what we have done in order to manage a community, because it comes with a strong liability once you have members with certain asset that are following you as a leader. So for me, in the special counsel, I understand the role here. It's not about anyone's voice at this moment, because we are still AIP driven. So our job as a special counsel is to protect the council first thing. This is the foundation that needs expertise. You need experience. This is not a playground that you are or learning ground that you become in special counsel. You need to be precise and knowing what you're doing and protect the foundation. That's number one. Secondly, it's also about the AIPs. I am the person that have done and successfully submitted, been through the process, and I knew and understood what an offer, what are they experiencing. So this is the second thing as a special counsel, the progress of each AIP being approved and the money being distributed. I would put in an AIP just to allow those revenue to come back to the Apecoin DAO in before they are even given out. That should be part of every single AIPs or AI, allowing the foundation to be part of those AIP in terms of proceeds. I think that is one thing that has to be changed. And most important, please, all candidates understand the role of special counsel. It's not about anyone's voice. You can be anyone's voice as a leader, as a community. You can still lead your 2,000 or 3,000 community members. It doesn't matter what role you are. You are always a leader.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So As I mentioned earlier, first of all, hold on. How's everybody feeling right now? Everybody okay? Everybody good? Like, are you engaged? Let me get a thumbs up, thumbs down. Doing pretty good. Okay. Okay. So I mentioned earlier that Yatsu, although he was not able to make it, he did want to have some questions specifically for you guys. And I'm gonna open it up to also anybody that's watching on YouTube or in the Twitter space as well. If you have any questions, just head on over to YouTube and type your comments, type your questions, and we will try to get to them at the end. But Yatsu has 3 questions for each, and he wanted each candidate to answer these questions. So we're going to start in reverse order. Hazel, we're going to go first to you. Um, let's get you up full screen. Okay, awesome. Hazel, ready to go? These are Yatsu's 3 questions. I'm going to put a timer. You don't have to be exactly 90 seconds, but we're going to play around with it and hopefully try to make sure everybody has time for it. So first question is, choose 5 words that best describe why you are the best candidate for special counsel. And he says, and he told me to emphasize specifically just 5 words.
Okay, I try 5 words: responsibility, uh, love, creative, uh, the power. Virus voice.
Okay. Question number 2. What kind of skills would you want the other special counsel members to have alongside you that best complement you?
Yes. Uh, I think I have many skills. Nice. Uh, I have the tutor experience. First, I can let more builders and I can teach many new builders to come.
Oh,
Second is
Hazel, let me jump in here.
I have the
So the question
okay.
isn't what skills do you have? The question is what skills do you want the other special council members that are going to be working with you? What skills would you hope that they have?
Yes, I know it. I think they need to have the varieties skills first. They need to have the financial skills because we need to handle many fundings. Secondly, they need to have the leadership. Finally, they need to uh, have the open minds, listen to the every voice, and accept the idea.
Okay. And last question is, so this is a multiple choice. This is a hypothetical situation. So you're a member of special counsel and you're meant to keep matters confidential. But in hypothetical scenario, let's say that you felt that the community should know something, even though you have to keep something confidential. Okay, so that's, let me set that up again. There's something that happens and you're supposed to keep things confidential, but you feel like the community should know this because it's important for the community. Would you tell the community what happened, or would you keep it confidential despite what you might consider this in the best interest of the DAO to tell people?
Yes, uh, because I always touch the community. Uh, the communities have many. My community is twice. They think. Uh, Firstly, they think the language problem. Secondly, they are the new face. They don't know how to drive. And I need to tell them language not the problem. And I think I need to try different method to let them know how to attend the Apecoin DAO. I think this time I running special council and I tell them and I let them to join the easy set like Roy and I will let more people to knows more about the ApeCon DAO, and I will try different methods like I think I will translate the AIP to different language, and I try to explain how it conducts is important, and I will let them know new phase is not important. The thing is you need to do the first step.
Okay, we're gonna go to Jason next. Jason, same questions. Let's start with question number one. Choose 5 words, specifically 5, that best describe why you are the best candidate for special counsel. I'm going to put 2.5 minutes on the clock, so everybody's going to have 2.5 minutes for this round, just so we make sure we get to everybody. Whenever you're ready, Jason.
Sure. The 5 that I have, it's experience, trustworthy, endurance, bold, and communication.
Okay, what skills do you want the other special counsel members to have alongside you that best complement you?
Right. At this moment, I think it's to best accommodate me, right? Legal. It would be great if we have legal background in the special counsel. And if we got negotiator like myself, because one person doesn't may necessarily do all the job at the same time. And I would say the best thing is also seeing regional representative. So
Okay.
those 3.
And last question, same question as before. You're a member of special counsel, you are meant to keep things confidential, but something happens that you feel like you should let the community know, even though you're required to keep it confidential. What would you do? Tell the community or stay confidential despite?
I would still keep it confidential. It happens to me already because I actually knew about the Ape Fest before April. I kept it confidential all the way until it's necessary to be exposed.
April, Jason, you got that alpha early. Okay, we're gonna thank you for that. We're gonna go to AirV next.
Well, I still got a minute. Might as well. I
Totally,
still got a minute, right?
totally.
When everyone is busy running the special council, I was busy running the Ape Fest. I was busy connecting people, governments. That's why I don't have a chance for myself to connect with any big wallets or what we call them. Because I did not make the decision until I've spoken to all the special counsel currently, understanding the job before deciding taking it.
Awesome.
So I submitted right before my birthday, it's the 20th of November. So I don't even have much time to prepare my rally for the special council because I was still busy with the AFES.
All right. Okay. We're going to go to AirV next. AirV, you are also going to have 2.5 minutes on the clock. Let me just correct that right there. So, first question, I'll read it out just once again. 5 words, specifically only 5, that describes why you are the best candidate for this job.
So experienced, action-oriented, ethical, fair, and as last word, because it's in the middle of the night for me, I would say Europe, because I'm a completely different time zone than most of the other candidates.
We appreciate you staying up late for this. What kind of skills would you want the other special council members to have alongside you that best complement you?
So first, I'd say that the key is to be able to work regardless of the person that you work with, and to be able to find a consensus with them. So I would say that if somebody is a good listener, it always helps to make a DAO more productive. And I would say that the major thing that we know is the adaptation to change. The world is going to change, and we just need to have people who are not set in their way but adapt to the environment.
Okay, and last question once again, confidentiality. Even though you might feel that something might be better to tell the community, you have to keep things confidential. What would you do? Keep it confidential or communicate it to the community for the betterment of the DAO?
Well, one of the privilege that I have working on the deep tech side of the industry is that we're constantly attacked by hacks, attacked by FTX pressuring us to manage the treasury, and us having to take a decision if we go with them or not. And I think that a lot of these discussions, we're working into, extinguishing fires, and often, nobody knows about it. They just see that everything is working fine. But I can tell you, in the background, there's a lot of issues that is happening. So, if we had to send a tweet each time that we have to deal with something critical that is happening, it would be a lot. And on the Ape Chain proposal, the community can clearly see
5
that
seconds.
we've put a security council with some of the brightest mind in the space.
Awesome. Okay. And we're going to get to Bored Ape G now on screen. Hey, Bored Ape G. We're going to start right off the bat. 5
Hey.
questions. Sorry, 5 words that best describe why you are the best candidate.
Well, first I'm going to say flowers to Hazel, because that's a pretty tough question, and she started it right away. So I really appreciate that,
Somebody
Hazel.
had to go first.
But for myself, someone has to go first. So you got to give flowers to that. Took it for the team, because that's essentially around the thing, team here. But 5 words: dedicated, committed, trustworthy, qualified, and available.
What skills do you want the other special council members that are going to be working alongside you to have?
So this, right, for the skills, and always go back to this point, you don't have to be a lawyer, but I think that a great thing really is you're experienced in whether negotiating or dealing with complex legal matters. Maybe you've been on a board elsewhere your business, right? Because the reality is, to create really meaningful changes around the foundation, this is the reason why it exists, right? We deal with a lot of that, and I think it's really important that the individual stepping into this role, like, to be very effective, have that kind of experience. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get meaningful change done.
And last question, confidential matters, betterment of the community. I think you heard it 3 times now, so I'm not going to ask it again, but what's your take on that?
Yeah, well, absolutely, especially in the context of special counsel, right? You're a team, right? Or we're a team here with the Ape Foundation directors. So if I'm in that kind of position and it's confidential, it's because collectively the team has decided it is something that needs to be confidential. So I would absolutely not be giving it to the community, because that's going against the principles of working together in this team, right? Because that means the majority of the people have decided that it's not something that could go to the public. So that means we have to respect that and understand my position in this kind of role.
Okay. And thanks for it, Bouvet. Last but certainly not least, what 5 words that best describe why you are the best candidate for special counsel?
Okay, good answers, guys. This is the first time, you guys are very authentic, and I congratulate you guys, okay? So 5 words that describe me: I'm reliable, I'm a leader, I'm going to do this full time, that's the word, voices, and passion for the community.
Okay. What kind of skills do you want the other special council members to have that are going to be working with you to complement you?
So I have a certificate in organizational development, right? And there we talk about like team building, groupthink, but I don't think that matters here, because all the 5 individuals here, although I give them constructive criticism objectively, they're professionals in their own fields and what they do, right? We have to give them that. So the thing we need most is heart and passion for the DAO. Who has been active, who has been putting in the hours, who's been getting the community together, who's been initiating stuff. We have perfect examples of those candidates, like Helena, who was competing with us. So we need these kinds of people who have heart and passion, because they're already professionals in their own respective area. We can't deny them that. So even if you have that, but you join the special council and you don't put in the hours in, or you don't have the passion, or you're just complacent, or you have your personal agenda, then it's not going to work. So we need these people, professionals in their fields, but have the heart and passion for the DAO.
Last question, as a member of special council, you're meant to keep matters confidential, even if you feel that it's better the community should know about something. What would you do if something like that happened? Would you tell the community, or would you stay confidential?
Yeah, confidential. That's an easy, straightforward answer. I have a certificate in corporate governance as well. So you have to take care of all the stakeholders, right? So the community is a stakeholder, but the foundation is also a stakeholder and the people you're working with. So the position of special counsel should always be that you have the best interest of the all stakeholders involved. So if there is a breach or confidentiality with a stakeholder, you have to have that you have to have that confidentiality with that. You can't let that go. That's given. And in the special counsel, I want to see people leave behind their personal agendas and just go work together in a group. Because I don't believe the 5 people currently or they were there before, they had their own agendas. We need all 5 of the people to unite and look for the bigger vision and the objectives and the KPIs.
Great, thank you. Guys, we're just about wrapped up here. Just a few more minutes to go. There are some comments on Twitter. Sorry, I just for context of anybody listening to Twitter Space as well. I'm probably managing like 5 different things at the exact same time, and so if I don't get to your comments on Twitter, I'm sorry. But I do I did find the time in between that to find some comments that I think show a lot of passion and people want them to be heard. And so Fox slightly said, "Please bring up my issue with the current system." And I'm going to say this statement, and this is open for anybody to just comment on. So Fox slightly says, I feel strongly that those who have not participated in or have a clear understanding of how the DAO is structured should not even be running for special counsel. Nominees who spent zero time nor have a clear understanding for what their position entails should not even pass screening. The current system is a joke. Case in point, how many nominees from past elections were active prior to elections and how many are still active within the DAO today? We need to do better. I want the DAO to succeed. Open-ended for anybody that wants to take this. Who wants to comment on that?
I would like to try.
Go for it.
Okay. I'm agreeing with you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Fox Slightly is Fox Slightly is very passionate about the DAO. I'm sure most of us already got that questions about all our personal time and what he asked for the previously in the forum. So I totally agree with what he just said because yes, one Apecoin is enough in order to be a candidate, but yeah, I do agree certain screening or certain I would say filtering of the potential or the capability of candidate is very important. Is instead of just a wallet supporting, because the role itself it's needs experience. It needs some sort of a responsibility. It's really not a training ground. And there are a lot of because before I take action, I actually spoke with Captain Trippy at spoke with Bam Boji himself before I even would consider myself a candidate, and I understood the job before applying for it. So it's important, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, Fox Likely, great questions. You've asked it direction.
Great. And Bhuvi, I'm going to give you 30 seconds as well to quickly answer that.
Yeah, of course you have to be active before the elections, even after the elections. You just don't want.
Closing statements. Go ahead.
Okay. I know the responsibilities about the special counsel, and many people know that many people think that we need to have many experience here. I agreed, but many people seem to do the first step. So I think it's the Ipconda is the second years. I think still have the charm to give the many people to join here. I know is to compare the experience. You are the you for is very have many experience about it, but I think it is represent that if I want to join, if I do not have the experience about the DAO, I can't join. I think I have different skills to uh, do this.
Okay.
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you.
Board Ape G, 30 seconds, closing statements. Please start when you're ready.
our community again for this wonderful last year. And I really understand intimately the challenges we are facing to go create these innovative projects coming up. Ape Chain is a big deal out of it. So for a vote for me, again, is just a reminder that I really came up from the community. I came from the beginning as a contributor, and I'm still a community member now, and the community choice as well. So voting for me is something. It's obviously something that's de-risked, I would like to think, but I do know that there's a lot for us to do, and I'm here to work as a team with whoever comes on the council and reframe this special council into what we need to in the future.
ARV closing statements, 30 seconds on the. Oh, sorry, we already went to ARV. Jason, 30 seconds on the clock for you.
If you're looking for a change and looking for someone that are able to deliver, which I have proven it, if you want a new blood to execute what's on your mind, then when you're holding the Apecoin, you should vote for me, because I'm the most independent and proven leader that knows how to run a bond and willingness of a community. So hope I can use my post in order to expand that as a ripple effect to all the Apecoin holders there. So I need your vote.
And let's go to Bouvet. Bouvet, 30 seconds on the clock. Oh, Bouvet, you're muted.
Proud of all listening to our views, although you have opposing views, but taking the time to listen to us. You are the DAO. You are the voice of the people. We are here to represent you. And I'm also proud of the candidates. Shouts out to them. Besides my objective comments, each one of their field, I respect them subjectively. If I meet them in real life, we'll be friends, of course. So I'm just proud of all of you. Let's do this. Let's build the DAO together. Proud of all of you. Super excited to do this. Let's go. I have that passion.
Perfect, guys. This was the Final Five debate. Voting is open for 2 more days. I'm gonna let you guys go because I know you guys are either up early, up late, or have things to do. So thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna wrap up with everybody here in the audience. You guys are free to leave. Thank you, and good luck to everybody here. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Guys, there you have it. Final
Thank
five
you.
debate. 5 candidates, a lot of questions,
you.
a little bit more heat this time, a little bit more pointed questions at individuals. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of context as to what the vote currently looks like. We have, as of this minute, ARV with 8.8 million ape, which comprises 52% of the vote. Hazel has 6.9 million ape. Jason Jape has 700k ape. Bored Ape G with 500, and Bouvet with 168. Voting is open for 2 more days. It's going to close at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. That's December 20th, just before the holidays. And this is for a term that starts January 2024 for 12 months. So, guys, if you like this, share the link with a friend. So share with somebody that has a big wallet. Let's get people activated and working and voting in the DAO. Let's not forget that 3 of the people that you saw will be for sure in special council. 2 of them will not make it this time around. I've been Atare. This is a damn show productions in a collaboration with Apecoin and Apecoin DAO. Thank you to everybody that helped set this up. And we're going to see you guys next time. Take care. Have a good night, everybody, or a good morning, wherever you're listening in the world.